Hey G Squad, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title in today's video, we're going to be making this slamming chocolate. Are you doing a cake?
Yep, chocolate cake.
Okay, he's got my nephew here, which I'm going to introduce him in a minute. He's going to be doing a beautiful chocolate cake. He's putting his own spin on it. He's going to kind of bling this, glam this cake out. And so, yeah, this is Anthony, and he's going to be taking over the channel. So make sure you're, show him some love in the comment section, okay? And happy holiday to you.
Alright, so today here are the ingredients that we're going to use for this chocolate cake. I'm going to start out with a box cake here. You can use any brand of chocolate cake that you want, but we're going to pay attention to the box on the ingredients that's on the back of the box. And here's how you bling this out. Instead of using the 1 1/4 cups of water, we're going to replace that with the same amount of milk there. And you could use any type of milk that you have as a replacement. Instead of the vegetable oil, we're going to go with 2 sticks of melted butter. In my recipe, I am using salted butter to really bring out those flavors. And instead of the 3 eggs, we're going to add an additional egg to our recipe. And we are also going to use this chocolate pudding here. That's going to really bring out the chocolate flavor in this recipe. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the melted butter. I already have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. You can follow the measurements that is on the box for your heating instructions there, depending on the type of pan that you're using. Let's go over to the stove and get our butter melted. Make sure that when your butter is melting that you watch it, because we don't want it to be boiling or bubbling hot, because if you put the eggs in the hot mixture, it's going to scramble your eggs, and you do not want scrambled eggs in your cake. So I'm just making sure that this butter is nice and melted. I might even turn this down just a little bit. You want medium low there to melt. All right, so now while our butter's melting, we're gonna go ahead and open up our box cake here.
You can't get it over.
Right. I know this knife is a little overkill, no pun intended. All right, now we're gonna just go ahead and dump our cake mix in here. I want to make sure I get everything in there. All right, now my butter's been on for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and peep at it and make sure it's not browning. All right, we still got a little bit of time left on that. So good, we'll come back and check that out in a second. While we're doing that, so we're gonna get all the dry ingredients mixed in there. I went ahead and bought the 4 ounce, the 3.9 ounce box, but you can get this. This is a small box of pudding here that you could use. So we're gonna add that in there. All right, so this gets dry ingredients in there. Now, one thing about using the box cake mix is that you don't have to worry about getting the extra ingredients, because typically you can make a cake from scratch, but you got to get the cake flour and the baking soda. But with the box mix, all of that is already included in the ingredients, so it makes it just a little bit easier. And then the next step I'm going to do, I have my room temperature milk here. I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. And then what you could do before you start adding everything together is that you can go ahead and start mixing it up, because you don't want to over mix your batter, but this helps make sure that everything is combined well. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on mix and just start to get this going here. And maybe you can turn that a little bit if you see it begin to splatter as we try to get all of this stuff. So now it's time to add some of the eggs in there. I don't add them all at the same time. I found out that if you don't mix it well, the eggs will be clumped up to the bottom. So we'll just do a little bit at a time, maybe 1 or 2, and then we'll go ahead and mix those in. Alright, so now I got these first 2 eggs mixed in there. I'm going to go ahead and add the remaining 2 eggs in there. And don't be alarmed if you see it's a little thick. It will be thick until you get all of your ingredients in there, but this will help it make it become well combined there. Alright, now what you see is you're starting to notice that it becomes nice and silky. Alright, so that's going to be good for now. And then we're going to check on our butter. And then we'll come. So our butter is ready. I let it sit just for a little bit just to cool it down. But again, I didn't put it on very high because I didn't want it to be hot. But now we're going to incorporate our butter into the batter. This is the final ingredient. Now that your mix and your batter is well combined, what I like to do is use this Baker's Joy. You want to spray the heck out your pan because you know why? You don't want it to stick to the pan when you take it out. So what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do now that we have everything mixed together, we are going to now move it into our pan. Again, I said our oven is preheated already. And so the reason why you want to do it this method is because if you're making multiple layers, you want to make sure that your layers are even. So we're going to try to even this out as best as possible. Now, one of the things you notice too is that my batter is a little thick. That's fine for this recipe. So don't be alarmed by that. Alright, so I got my cake batter in these pans. As you notice, it's really stiff and it's not really moving much. So what I'm going to do is just try to shake them out here so they can be even. And I'm fighting the urge of bad habits, guys, because growing up, my grandmother used to make cakes all the time. And she used to hand me the batter bowl. And I used to go to town licking it. But I'm being told by the wife that that's not healthy and that I should not do that.
How many people that do that?
Yeah.
Everybody do it.
But I want to know. I want to know in the comments if you lick the batter bowl
or the spoon
or anything else when the cake batter is done. It's the leftovers. I'm just gonna get this a little shake. And as you can see, it's starting to even out. I'm trying to put these bad boys in the oven. I'm gonna take my cake because I see it in here rising. So let me do what we call the toothpick test. So you want to take a toothpick and just set it in the center, and if it comes out dry, see how it's a little bit on there, that lets us know that it's about ready. Alright, D Squad, we're back. I let my cake sit out for about 10 minutes. We want to make sure that we release it from the pan while it's not piping hot but still a little warm. And what I'm going to do is a process that I learned called sweating the cake. And when you sweat the cake, what it does is keeps the moisture in so it could be nice and moist. And how you do that is that you're just going to wrap it in saran wrap while it's cooling down. So we're going to attempt to flip this cake. Alright, now if you grease your pan real good, this should release really easy. There we go.
Alright.
See how clean that is? Grease your pan really well. And then I'm just going to wrap this up. Now, don't talk about my saran wrap skills because I'm not the best at this. But there we go. Point being is you get the job done, right? Alright, that's cool. And then I'm just going to do the other one the same way. And then we'll be back when it's time to ice it. Squad, we are back. Our cakes are done. And now we are coming to the fun part of completing our cake. So what I have here is just some regular store-bought frosting. And then I'm going to show you a little hack to do it because as you can see, it's a little thick and it's a little hard to work with. So what we want to do is soften this up a little bit to easily ice our cake. But before we do that, I'm just going to take a little bit of this icing out and place some of it on the cake dish so we can keep our cake from sliding because we don't want that part to be soft. We want that to be nice and firm. So I'm just going to take a little bit out of here. Just a tad, not too much. And I'm just gonna place it right here, just in the center. And that way, when we put our cake layer on there, it's not gonna slide, it's gonna stick in there. So, now, make sure you take this piece off too. You don't want to be blowing the smithereens. And then, you wanna put the top back on here. Oops, I got a little bit in there. And I'm gonna try about for 1 minute in the microwave. We're back. I have let that stay in the microwave for about 30 seconds. But as you can see, it's nice and soft. And that's exactly what we want. So I'm gonna just give it a little mix here. Cool. Now, here's the fun part. The next fun part is transferring your cake from the where we had it. So here we go. This is where we last left off. It's still wrapped from where we were sweating it, and now we want to transfer it to the cake dish. So be very careful because it's soft. We don't want it to crumble here. So I'm gonna just gently. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that nice? Nice and beautiful. So, I'm just gonna Alright, G-Squad, there it is. There's the homemade chocolate on chocolate cake. If you do like the bake, go ahead and give it a try and mark it in the comments, or leave a comment on how it came out and what you think.